Alright guys, since it's a slow day here at the shop, I'm going to go over some must-have tools to be working on Harleys, things you definitely have to be able to make life a lot easier. And I'm going to throw some little bit of tips out there, tools that you should have, but I'm going to do this solely specifically Harley Davidson based. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to start up from the top and work my way down, and then we'll move on to the next toolbox. So you're definitely going to need your T70. This is going to be for your older compensators. You're also going to need a 12mm Allen socket. This is going to be for your forks. It's going to be at the bottom for your drain plug. Definitely fucking need that one. Alright, let's go to the first drawer. So, for an Allen set, the sizes that you'll definitely need are going to be your 7/32, and I believe it is your 3/32, if not 5/64s. These are going to be for your tiny little stupid fucking axle caps, and your 3/16, not 7/32, for your primary bolts. But I personally like to use the actual sockets themselves. That's just my preference. You can also use the 7/32 ones on here to be able to put it through this motion pro tool for your clutch adjustment. A lot of people use it different methods to do it, whichever is your preference. One thing I definitely will say is you will need a half deep socket and shallow for multiple things on the bike. So let's see, you got a lot of 1/2 inches on your bike, definitely on your exhaust, your Ratchet mounting bolts for the rear, the middle if you got a crossover, and your actual exhaust nuts are also a 1/2. I personally, what I always use is a 1/4 with a long 1/4 extension and the 1/4 half itself, just because I feel like it's a lot smaller and thinner, so it's a lot easier for me to be able to undo those. Sometimes, if really need be, you're gonna need an extended 1/4. Super fucking nice. I love this thing. It's come in handy multiple times. This is another one. I have talked about this one before. It's your 36mm. It's to be able to get past your exhaust and shocks and not have to take a bunch of shit off every time. Another one you're definitely going to need is your 6mm. It's going to be for your axle pinch bolts, you know, that are right next to your axle right here. But in this case, I believe that is a 1/2 just because it's an older bike, but usually you'll see the pinch bolt here, and it's usually a 6mm. Another thing that I definitely will say is whenever you get your T27 or 25, whichever one you use, make sure that you don't constantly use the wide. You see how it has a W there? You're only going to want to use that if the bolts are really fucking rounded out. If not, it can actually cause it to round out. Me personally, like to use T-handles for the derby cover just because it has a lot, one solid piece instead of multiple, so when you move it, it won't slip on you. I'll show you that in a little bit. You're definitely also going to need a 3/4 for your shock mounting bolts. And definitely 100% you're going to need a T40. There are fucking T40s everywhere on the baggers. So it's going to be your tank mounting bolts, 2 in the bottom, 2 up top, and then your battery fucking cover tray. Another one you're going to need, obviously, is always your 10mm. Now, in this case, usually Harleys are standards. It does have a couple of metric stuff on it. This is for your brake caliper mounting bolts. Alright, so let's go on to the next drawer. What we got? Oh, yeah. For your starter, when you're moving your starter, I definitely recommend getting an actual straight Allen. It's going to be a 1/4 in a long extension. It's going to be your best bet, honestly. Now, ball Allens, I would definitely recommend because there are just some spots that you can't really get into that those will definitely help. Oh, and real quick, going back to the 1/4 ratchet, what I like to use this for, I believe it's 3/16. That's going to be for your shifter bolt right there. And it allows it, once you put it on, to get it a lot easier back here. Or you can use a really long one. Just depends your preference. Alright, go to the next drawer now. Now, definitely, must-have is definitely going to be your impact driver, soft dead blow, and a brass hammer, as well as a punch set. Because you never know when you might need them. Sometimes you do, depending on the situation. I also definitely recommend the stubby kit set. I do a whole other separate breakdown video on that, so you can check later on my other videos on my YouTube channel. Alright guys, so this was just a basic, real quick tech tips on what tools you definitely need being Harley Davidson technician, starting out, or just starting to work on your own bike. Thanks for watching.